Hello, hello. Good day. Welcome to day 3 of our practice challenge. So, yes. How's it going? 3 days is interesting time because you start to get a little momentum. If you haven't been practicing regularly, you can start to feel how when you come and sit to practice or stand to practice, whatever you do to practice, you can feel how you know what to do. It starts to become, you start to see a little bit of progress with what you're working on, and it can be a really affirming day. Hello, welcome. Say hello. So we're talking about our third day of our practice challenge here. So yeah, you start to build momentum after 3 days. The other thing that can happen after 3 days is you're like gung ho. You get the first 2 days in, and then life gets in the way. Life always gets in the way. So it's more about what we choose to create in our lives and make a conscious decision, because life will always get in the way of anything we want to do. So we had to make active choices. So, all right, Meg, you're here. Wow, welcome. Meg's here live and in person. And Tracy's here. Excellent. So hey, we're here. So let's just dive in, because yesterday's video was a little long and I apologize. So hopefully that wasn't, I know it's hard when you're trying to squeeze in a practice and you have to watch a video too. So I want to be conscientious of your time and to help you be successful. So I was looking over. Oh, nice. It's your day off. Woohoo. Happy day off. I have a snow day here. I live in Michigan. And so it's a snow day for me. So they're in my world. So I know that in the comments yesterday, Meg was talking about how she's busy. And I'm sure many of us can relate to this feeling. So she's really busy. She's working full time. She's a mom. She's got mentoring things she does. She has other activities. She's a human. She needs to like take a shower and have some alone time and do some physical activity. And that's a lot to squeeze in your day, especially when you're creating maybe a newer practice on an instrument. You haven't fully developed the practice habit, and so it feels like you're just kind of piling another thing on top. Maureen just jumped on at the very beginning of this video is that, you know, life gets in the way of our day. And I think that's sort of the takeaway from today's practice challenge, is that life will always get in the way. So we have to be really like the designers. We have to be conscientious of what we're creating in our lives, and we have to make choices. Sometimes those choices can just work. There's like this moment where she can practice and it works. And sometimes it requires us like getting up a little early or staying up a little late to try to make what we want to happen in our lives happen. Sometimes it's about saying no. And so that is just saying like, okay, do I want to be doing this activity? Am I expected to be at this, whatever it might be, meeting, or are people wanting me to step into this? We want to please people. We want to things that I've had to say no to in my life. For example, this is a total musician's thing, but maybe it'll apply to you in some way. It's really nice to be home some in the summer. Like I've had entire months where I was barely home for like all of August or all of July in the past. And so I was like, it's nice to be home. I'm connected to the seasons, connected to my home. So this year I'm trying to have at least one weekend off per month. And I've really had to like turn away shows, and it's a little bit hard. I'm saying no to these people. I'm saying later, I'm like, hey, how about, and when you're booking, it's like crazy. I'm like, oh, you can't get me in June. It's February now. I'm looking at my June, and I'll be like, how about like November? And so it's just like way in the ethers. Anyway, so just trying to find like really being aware, like what do I want to have in my life? and really, and sometimes you say like, oh, but I still need to have this bubble, whatever I do that helps me feel like a happy, loving human being. And for me, and hopefully for you too, my drumming practice and my sort of exercise practice, my meditation practice, those three things help me to feel like a fully healthy human, and I can help maintain my life and my happiness by doing those things. It is a delicate balance, Meg, and I'm definitely overcommitted. I like to do a lot. I like to be engaged in a lot of things, so I had to find that balance too. So just looking at that. And the other thing is when you're busy, your practice will change. It'll definitely be, it might be like, hey, I can practice for 10 minutes every day, or I can practice for 15 to 30 minutes, which, by the way, 15 to 30 minutes of practice a day is like phenomenal. An hour a day. If you practice an hour a day, it's going to be awesome. But if you can't practice an hour a day and you try to practice an hour and then you don't practice for 10 days because you only do it when you have an hour, that is like way worse. You can practice for 10 minutes a day and make amazing strides on your instrument. So really, whatever amount of time you can do, just do that and be happy that you're doing. Does anyone, since it's just a small group, does anyone, if you have any questions about your practice, about rhythms, about playing with a metronome, Tracy, I know you were asking about that yesterday, or just like things that would help you, feel free to just throw them in the comments. Otherwise, I'll do my spiel. I'll continue my spiel on. So yeah, write those comments or questions if you have them. So today I wanted to talk about momentum and habit. So if you've noticed, you'll notice today, it's day 3. The goal is for the 7-day challenge, the goal to practice is practice every day with occasional days off. That's the ultimate, like you're going to strive, you're going to make progress on your instrument if you do that. Oh, hey, Jackie, what's up? So that's kind of the goal, is every day with occasional days off. And like I said, life gets in the way. Sometimes it's more, but really, if you can maintain that, you'll feel you're making momentum. And practicing really does feel like you're pushing a boulder down a hill. So when you first start, it's really like you have to push hard and you're like, oh, it's so hard. What am I doing? Blah, blah, blah. And all the excuses. Once you get to day 3, day 4, maybe day 5 for you, somewhere in there, you'll start to feel that it's starting to roll on its own. And the more you do that, the more it like takes on this momentum, and you're able to, it'll be like a reprieve for you. To go and practice is like, it's my special time. Or sometimes it doesn't, like sometimes it feels like, I gotta practice, and then you do it and you feel better afterwards. So how many things of our life is like that? Jackie likes my shirt. Thanks. Nice. Yeah, and Tara says she never feels like she wasted time practicing. It's such a joy. Right. And so that's the thing, is like when you do it, you're like, oh, that was awesome. But sometimes getting to do it is hard. So it's sort of one of those things. Yesterday, even, I was like, on my list was like practice. And I was like, I don't want to practice. But then I was like, well, just do it. And I was like, just do it for 10 minutes or whatever. And then I ended up practicing for 40 minutes and I felt so much better. So, and I felt like, oh, I'm doing the things I need to do to be skilled on this instrument, to express myself. Oh, good. And Tracy said she practiced with the metronome, but for the stepping beat, it's challenging for sure. Ankle bells. I'll send you a message about that. Yeah, sometimes having the ankle bells on your feet helps. Sometimes you're like, oh, I was so off. So just know, Tracy, for you, practice, and anyone that struggles with practicing with a metronome, it really is, you have to spend like 5 minutes of your practice, and it's just practicing with the metronome. It's not even, like I said yesterday, it's not even playing a rhythm. Like, you kind of play a rhythm, but mainly you're focusing on how do I practice with a metronome. And you have to stop a lot, and you have to restart, and you have to sort of But you do develop this awareness, and it ends up becoming your friend, as I already covered yesterday. So if you haven't seen that video, you can watch practice day 2 and hear more about that. So we got this hill, we're rolling down. And so what happens is at the beginning of your practice, when you're developing the habit, because that's what we want, is we want it to feel like a habit. It feels like your day is not complete, or that you're missing something in your day, and you practice and then it's like, oh, now it's complete. That's what people that have developed the habit feel like. It's sort of a need that they can skip sometimes, but it helps them feel whole again. And so to get to that, it's like you're pushing that ball, and then it starts to create some momentum. Now, the beautiful thing about the momentum, for example, like a month ago, I wasn't practicing regularly, and I was feeling really like, I just don't know what to practice. And I'd like go to practice and I didn't know what I was playing. And I just felt I didn't have my music organized. And I was just like, what am I doing? What, blah. And I was feeling really terrible because I was just like, I don't even want to practice. I don't know what I'm practicing. And that happens. So if you get out of the habit, that's how it feels. And probably some of you felt that way already in the first couple of days of this challenge. And just now, though, that I've been doing it for a couple weeks, I feel like, oh, I know what I'm practicing. I'm working on these things. I have them out. I'm getting to this, I'm getting to that. And I've also started rotating. I have 3 main instruments I'm playing. So I started sort of a rotation. So I'm at least touching every instrument, like, 3 to 4 times a week. And that's helped me to try to balance, like, because otherwise I'll focus all my energy on drumming, and then I go to play my marimba and it's like a disaster. So I've kind of got a rotation anyway. So now that I have that momentum going, it feels easier to do. I just say, okay, I'll do it, I'll practice, and then it sort of takes care of itself. It rolls out. And eventually, what I'd love for you to think about today is about the ritual of practice. And the ritual, you just hear my daughter in the background. The ritual idea is that how can you make your practice feel like it's supporting you as a whole person? So what that might mean for you, that might mean like, oh, I actually want to have a candle and I want to state an intention and I want to breathe for a couple minutes before I begin. Or it might mean playing like a meditative beat while you ground. It might be sometimes you're like emotionally upset. I do this, okay? And you're feeling like agitated, you're feeling angry, you're feeling whatever you're feeling, and just like banging that drum, hitting those marimbas, like playing really loud. I've actually discovered new techniques on the tambourine because I was really mad. And I was just like playing and I was like, whoa, I can shake it. I'm like, so I'd actually informed my playing one time. So, sometimes it's like that can be your ritual, that you get to get out whatever was going on before, let it out in like a very sort of visceral, expressive way, and then you can kind of ground down into it. So really, yeah, nice. I'm just reading Tara's comment. Yes, nice. Tara's like, yes, I know it is. Tara, I'd love for you to come and be a guest teacher for some of my students sometime. So we'll talk about that. I actually have in my mind like 10 things I want to work with you on. So I haven't reached out because I'm a shy person. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so Tara's got it. And so that's a really important aspect, is that your practice becomes a ritual. Your practice becomes a ceremony for you in whatever that means for you. So it could mean a lot of things, or it could just mean like taking a breath and be like, this is my sacred time. This is my special time. And if you need something in there that you're not getting, like, for example, you're practicing for 20 minutes and you need to breathe for 5 of those minutes, breathe for 5 of those minutes. Or if you're playing and you realize your shoulders are really tight and you need to stretch, maybe add 5 minutes or just stretch for 5 minutes, so add it in so that it's really supporting you. So when you finish practicing, not only are you feeling proud of yourself for like, I've checked it off, I did it, I did my practice today, but you're also feeling like whole, you're feeling more full. And it's really powerful too, in music, you confront your weaknesses all the time. And that's such a beautiful skill to be like, what am I bad at? How can I get better at it? And it's really a metaphorical practice for how we can grow as humans. It teaches us how to grow, how to confront what our problems are and face them. Tara, awesome. I'm going to reach out to you because there's so much I want. For those of you that don't know Tara, she lives in Ontario, and she plays the frame drum, and she's an amazing singer, and she's Celtic. And she's just like, she's got the medicine. She's got the drum medicine. And anyway, if you want to meet her, any of you out there, there's this Ontario Women's Drum Camp that's happening in June and in September, and I'm going, and you could carpool with me, and we could go. It's like a 4-day drum festival, all women. It's amazing. So you can meet Tara there, hang out with me, and carpool. So let me know. I'll send you dates if you're interested. Okay, so the question is for you, and I'm ending, this is my wrap up, is that think about how you can make your practice feel like a ritual, feel like something that supports you, and it's gonna be more sustainable then. If it just feels like a chore and like Dee Dee's making me do this and I said I'd do it, or I have this performance coming, yes, that's motivating, but if you can make it something that supports your day and helps you be a whole person, then that's going to be the key to sustained playing. It doesn't matter, like I said, whether you're practicing for an hour and a half or you're practicing for 10 minutes. Just know that if it's 10 minutes, you just have to do everything a little more briefly. So that's all. And remember to write in your comments that you practiced today. Good luck, everyone. And